A few weeks ago, I flew some of the best engineers that I know from my startup Accelerator, Code to CEO, to the Four Seasons Otamachi in Tokyo. Engineers from Europe, from the Bay Area, all across Asia, and on most of them meeting in person for the very first time. And if you had met any of these people 2 years ago, you would have found something really ordinary. A good job, good money, and a comfortable life. They were all fine. And at some point in time, every single one of them decided that fine simply wasn't it. So I'm gonna walk you through what it is, how it works, and I'll also tell you who it's not for. But to explain Code to CEO, I have to start with why it even exists in the first place. You see, I spent my career as a software engineer surrounded by other software engineers. And when you live in this sort of a bubble, you start assuming that everybody can do what you do. What you get paid is roughly what you're actually worth. That all changed the day I found out that my company, where I was a software engineering manager taking home $250,000 a year, was billing me out at $1,850 an hour to 3 different clients at the same exact time. I was a product on that invoice, but I was seeing a small fraction of it, which meant the number on my paycheck wasn't actually the maximum amount that I as a software engineer was capable of generating. It was simply my price tag that somebody else had set. And then the universe pretty much handed me the exit. November 30th, 2022, the day ChatGPT came out, which also happened to be my exact birthday, I watched what it could do and I made the decision that this is going to change the world forever. And I put in my 2 weeks right then and there, and I started my own B2B AI consulting firm down here in LA, AB Analytics. And the moment I really understood what I walked into came a while later when I showed up at my local chamber of commerce pretty much looking for clients. A room full of regular business owners with the average age pretty much being in late 40s, early 50s, some even older. And I was not only the only software engineer there, but I was also the only person in my 20s there. They all looked at me like I was a magician. Because once the business worked, engineers started asking me how I did it. And I decided that I want to help the me from back then. And that's why Code to CEO started. Here's the thing that I had to learn the hard way. And this is actually the first lesson of this video. Almost every single software engineer who tries to escape the 9 to 5 does it in the same exact order. They build something first, then they try to sell it. So what ends up happening is most individuals, maybe you even included, spend 6 months, night and day and weekends on a product. You launch it, but nobody buys it. And I've actually got a name for the pile that leaves behind, and I call it the SaaS graveyard. And just about every single software engineer that I've talked to has one. Here's what nobody really tells you about that graveyard. None of it died because you're not smart enough. It died because the order you are doing things in is completely backwards. You spent your whole career around people who can do what you do. The businesses in your city cannot. The gap between what's trivial for you and impossible for them, that is going to be the product. In Code to CEO, we call finding this your unique advantage. And it's the step 1 of pretty much everything. The other half of the lesson is going to be less comfortable. It's all about pricing, positioning, framing, communication. It's being in a room when the money decisions get made instead of getting handed the ticket afterwards. And all of this can really be summed up with ownership. And that's the one skill that most of us were never really taught. Whether the ceiling over your head right now is a salary, or whether you freelance and the ceiling is your time because you are essentially the product, the fix is the same exact skill. That's the skill that Code to CEO exists to build and nurture. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, what actually is Code to CEO? The first thing that everybody will assume is that it's a course. I've never sold a course, and I'll never sell a course. The closest honest comparison to Code to CEO is Y Combinator with 2 caveats. 1, you get me one-on-one every single week, and I mean me, not a Slack channel with my name on it. 2, the room is extremely tiny in Code to CEO. Throughout the past 2 years, we have kept it consistently under 40 members at any given moment. And most of our members have been with us for over 2 years now. You and I will get on a call, just the 2 of us, and we work off what I call a KPI accountability tracker. And it's really 2 numbers that we're going for, short-term goal and a long-term goal. Short-term goal is usually something like replacing your income outside the 9 to 5. Long-term is pretty much you, whether you want that financial, time, location freedom, or whatever else it is that you're pursuing on a longer time horizon. And every single week, we ignore anything that does not move those 2 numbers. Most founders inside Code to CEO are able to get the results that they get through about 4 to 6 hours of focused work every single day. But there are also those who are able to get those same exact results on a longer time horizon, such as 180 days, spending about 10 to 15 hours a week. The promise is that within 180 days, you are going to get to your short-term goal. And if you haven't, we will keep working with you until you are actually there. But in practice, the reason we've never even had to fulfill on this promise is because the average founder lands their first client in about 47 days. The mechanics here aren't the interesting part. The people are, the community in itself. So let me introduce you to a few of them, because we strongly believe a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. So different people from different countries, all building different businesses, and you'll notice that it's never really the revenue that they talk about. It's what the revenue actually allowed them to do in their lives. There's a couple of things going on around those stories that I should explain, because they're the parts that you can't really see from the outside. When you see John's $4.5 million exit, when you see Tamir's multi-five-figure project, when you see Paul's multi-five-figure months, and so much money coming in, you see the ups. You don't see the work that these individuals had to put in. A lot of this comes from imposter syndrome. And that's what the first thing you really have to do is kill that imposter syndrome. Because the second you watch somebody who started exactly where you are, the question in your head shifts from, can I even do this, to what's the next step? And that compounds. This is why you'll see so many crazy testimonials, crazy results inside Code to CEO. Whenever they see somebody succeeding, everybody kills that imposter syndrome inside them, and they're able to further move on. That is why I say the chain is only as strong as its weakest link. Now, last but not least, I want to talk a little bit about our in-person masterminds. Every single quarter, I run an in-person mastermind in multiple locations across the world. This one specifically was in Tokyo at the Four Seasons. I spent over $100,000 on this mastermind personally out of my own pocket, and I handpicked the best performing founders to fly out and join it. So it's a seat that you earn on your results. It's not one that you can buy. And once you are there, everything on the ground is handled. The hotel is not the main point here. I could have run this conference in a small room and the conversation would still be worth the flight. But the 100K is just me putting my money where my mouth is, because whatever happens in that room cannot be faked, and it cannot be replaced by a video, including this one that you're watching. And underneath all of this sits, of course, the most important thing, the playbook, the actual strategy for finding your unique advantage, the actual systems for going about landing clients, for closing these clients, for pricing your services, for actually getting your business to grow with employees, and making sure that you actually get time freedom. And all of this is based on exactly what I've done for my own business. And now, the part that I promised at the start of the video, who this is not for. If you're a software engineer that wants passive income and you never want to talk to another human being, Code to CEO is not for you. If you have never actually shipped any type of software, meaning you do not yet have any type of software engineering experience, be it in a 9-to-5 environment or at least in a high quality internship, once again, Code to CEO is not for you. If you collect courses like Pokemon cards and they all just died out without you taking any action, this is not for you. And I'm going to be straight about the other side of this too. This is going to be a serious investment for you. The kind of investment you're going to have to talk over with your partner, with your significant other, because the room only works if everyone in it is all the way in. It's something you join in, it's a lifetime journey that you go on. And one last thought on timing, since we are in 2026, AI is quietly deleting the raw dollar value of writing code, because the people who win in the next 5, 10, 15 years are going to be the people who own the businesses, not the ones who get paid a salary to build it. So if you're a software engineer, you already have the hard half. You can build, and you can build it with security, with integrity, and with proper quality. So if you've watched this whole thing and kept thinking, I am in this exact situation, the application is down below. You don't need an idea, you don't need a co-founder, you don't need a single client yet. If you have all those, perfect, but you don't need that. And remember, if you're not there yet, that's genuinely fine too, because the videos on this channel are free and they'll teach you plenty on their own. So go ahead, send in your application, click the link down below completely for free. For the past 2 years, part of my job outside of obviously my business with Code to CEO has been watching the same movie with 2 different endings on repeat. In one ending, the engineer watches something like this, thinks, yeah, okay, I'll do it one day. And 3 years later, he's on the same exact call with the same exact manager, asking for permission for a raise that was never coming or asking to take a vacation. In the other, the individual starts, sits in the discomfort for a little while, tolerates the stress and the pain and the bullshit coming his way, and a few months later sends out an invoice with his own name at the top. And a little while after that, he's not picking up his kid from school on a random Tuesday afternoon because nobody owns his calendar anymore. Now they're going on family vacations because he can comfortably spend the money that he made, and he's now worrying constantly about how much money he has. Because the point, by the way, was never about the money in terms of, oh, look how many dollars I have. The point always was to be able to provide on your own terms and be there for the people that you love. And remember, the same skills, the same exact brain, but one decision apart. So I hope to see you in Code to CEO. As always, keep pushing boundaries, and I shall see you in the next one. Don't forget to sign up in the link below.